My name's Josh and I'm a guitar teacher for South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture, and today we're going to be doing the theme from the Pirates of the Caribbean. It goes something like this. Okay, so that's the main riff. That's pretty much all there is to the song. So we'll break it down bar by bar, taking it nice and slowly so you can learn the whole thing. So to begin with, we're going to start with our third finger on the third fret of the B string, and we're just going to play that twice. So third finger on the third fret of the second string, and you'll play that twice. And then after that, we're going to move our second finger to the second fret of the G string. For the most part in this song, we're going to be using our first three fingers, and our first finger is going to be doing the first frets, our second finger the second frets, and our third finger the third frets. Now there's a few points where this changes, but for most of it, that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, we're going to start with our third finger on the third fret of the B string, and we're going to play that twice. And then with our second finger, we're going to play the second fret in the G string, and we're going to play that once, and then it's going to go to the first fret on the B string, followed by the third fret in the B string. So that's the first bar. So all together that goes. Okay, so third fret in the B string twice, second fret in the G string once, first fret in the B string once, and then the third fret in the B string. So you get. Now just practice that as slow as you can at first, taking it really, really nice and easy, maybe about this speed. And once you're able to do that a few times, just move on to the second bar, which is even easier. Now this time you're pretty much just leaving your third finger on the third fret of the B string, and you're going to play that 3 times. Okay, so play that 3 times, and then you're just going to hit the open E string once. Okay, so third finger on the third fret of the B string, play that 3 times, and then the open E string, just once. So that bar's nice and easy. So try and put the first and the second bars together and you'll get something like this. Okay, let that ring out a wee bit better. Now the next bar, this time you're going to take your first finger and you're going to put it in the first fret of the E string, and you're going to play this 3 times in a row. Okay, so first finger in the first fret of the E string, play that 3 times. And then you're going to take your third finger and you're going to put that in the third fret of the same string. Okay, so 3 times in the first fret, and then once in the third fret. And then after that, you're going to take your finger off and you're just going to play the open E string twice. And then followed by the third fret in the B string and the first fret in the B string. Okay, so that fourth bar is E, open E twice, followed by the third fret in the B, followed by the first fret in the B. Okay, so the third and fourth bar together sound like this. Okay? So once you can do the third and the fourth bar, go back to the first and the second and just try and put it all together. You'll get. Okay, now the beginning of the next bar is actually the trickiest part in the song. You're going to do a thing that's called a hammer-on, where you, well, I'll show you what it sounds like first. A hammer-on sounds like this. Okay, so what's happening there is you're actually only hitting the string once, but you're getting 2 notes. And the way you do that is you're going to hold your first finger on the first fret for the first note, and then you're going to fire your third finger down onto the third fret. So you're sort of like hitting down the string to make it ring out. So if you place your first finger on the first fret of the B string, hit the string once, and then bring your third finger down as hard as you can onto the third fret of the B string. Okay, so you're only actually hitting the string once, but you're getting it to ring out twice because you're firing that third finger down as quick as you can. Now, this will take some practice. It is really quite hard to do, especially if you've never done it before. The best way to sit and practice it is just to keep doing it. Same thing, putting your first finger on the first fret, playing the string, and firing down your third finger. And if you can just keep doing it, maybe like this. And just keep doing that, like practicing it. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes it will just sound like this, or you'll miss it. That's totally normal when you're practicing it. I even do that sometimes. I've been playing guitar for ages. It's quite a tricky thing to do. So just practice that individually, maybe outside the song, just as part of your practice routine. But if you're really struggling to get that hammer on, you can just, for the time being, while you practice getting better at it, just play both the notes as normal. Just play the first and then the third fret. Okay? Now, how you know something's a hammer on is you'll see in the tab that will be put out with this video, it's got like a wee line like this over the two numbers. That just means they're like joined together. That's the sign for a hammer on. So a wee loop like this. Okay, but as I said, if you're really struggling to do that at first, just play both the notes individually as normal. So first finger in the first fret, and then third finger in the third fret. Okay, after that you go to the second fret in the G string, followed by the first fret in the B string, and then you're going to go back to the third fret in the B string and you're going to play that 3 times, followed by the open E string. Okay, so from those bars you get the hammer on, then second fret in the G, first fret in the B, third fret in the B 3 times, and then the open E. Okay, so that should sound like this. Okay, and then after that we're going to go to the first fret in the E string again, play that 3 times, followed by the third fret in the E string, and then it's the open E twice, and then it's the third fret in the B and the first fret in the B. Okay, and then finish that section off with the third fret in the B. Right, so we'll go over that a wee bit slower. You're going to go after the hammer on, second fret in the G string, followed by the first fret in the B, and then the third fret in the B string 3 times, and then it's the open E, first finger in the first fret of the E string, you're going to play that 3 times, and then it's the third fret in the E string, then open E twice, third fret in the B, then the first fret in the B, and then it's the third fret in the B again. And that sort of completes that part of the riff. That's like the first repeat of it. So altogether, from the first note, which is in the first line, all the way to the 3 in the second line should sound like this. Okay, now as I said, the trickiest part is the hammer on. If you're really struggling with that, just play it as a 1 and then a 3. And play through it from that first 3 on the first line all the way through to the first 3 in the second line, and go as slowly as you can at first. It might take you a week or so to be able to do that part, and don't move on to the next part until you've got that down. Playing it really slowly, maybe at a speed like this. and so on. Just taking it really slowly at first, and once you can play it slowly, then you can speed it up and try and play it at the full speed. So the next bar is really quite similar for the beginning anyway. Again, we're going to, for the most of it, we're going to use our first, second, and third finger, and we're going to be playing the first, second, and third frets. But a few bars in, we're actually going to have to move up to the 5th and 6th fret. But I'll show you how to do that when we get to it. But the beginning of it starts with, obviously, the 3 you finished on the last note. The next note is a 2nd fret on the G string, followed by the 1st fret in the B. And then it's 3 times on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then the 1st fret in the E. Okay? So, beginning from the 2 and from the 2nd fret in the G string, we're going to play that. Then the 1st fret in the B. And then the 3rd fret in the B 3 times. And then the 1st fret on the E. Okay, now this is where we're actually going to change from the rule we were doing earlier on, where we were using our 3rd fret for our 3rd finger for the 3rd fret. This time when we play the 3rd fret, we're going to use our 1st finger. So our 1st finger's already on this 1st fret of the E, and then it's going up to the 3rd fret in the E. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to move our 1st finger up this time. So instead of using our 3rd finger, we're going to use our 1st finger, and we're going to play that 3 times. And the reason we do it with this finger is because the next note is the 5th fret, and by sliding our finger up, our 1st finger up, that allows us to use our 3rd finger for the 5th fret, and we get it nice and smooth. So you're going to go 1st fret, 1st fret in the E string, move that finger up to the 3rd fret, play that 3 times, and then you're going to add your 3rd finger to the 5th fret, and then you're going to take your pinky and you're going to add that to the 6th fret. Play that twice, take your pinky off, the 5th fret again, and then 1st finger down to the 3rd fret. Okay, so this time you're moving your 1st finger up to the 3rd fret, you're going to play that a couple of times, then use your 3rd finger to play the 5th fret, and then bring your pinky onto the 6th fret and play that twice. Now, it is really hard to play with your pinky at first. It's your weakest finger, your smallest finger, but it's really important that you actually try and use it at this part, 'cause it will make your playing so much more smooth. And the more you use your pinky, the stronger it will get. It's much like practicing the hammer-on. Try and practice playing the guitar with your pinky, because it will really help you, and it will get stronger over time. So we're going to go 1st fret in the E string, move your 1st finger up to the 3rd fret in the E string, play that 3 times, then 3rd finger in the 5th fret, and then you're going to play the 6th fret twice with your pinky, back to the 5th fret with your 3rd finger, then we're going to move down to the 3rd fret with your 1st finger, this time we go back to the 5th fret with the 3rd finger, and then we're going to play the 3rd fret in the B string. Okay, so that whole section from the 2nd fret in the G sounds like this. Okay. So we're shifting our hand all the way up to the 3rd fret, and we're going to use our 1st, 3rd, and pinky for that part. Went from the 5th to the 3rd, back to the 5th, and then we're ending that section on the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. We're then going to play that 3rd fret again, but we're going to switch fingers, because at this point it goes back to the fingering we'd been used for the whole song. So we've got our 3rd finger here, we're then going to move it, and we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string this time. And we'll play that once, then it's an open E, the 1st fret in the E string twice, and then the 3rd fret in the E. And then we're going to, this time, slide this 3rd finger up to the 5th fret. 3rd finger in the 3rd fret of the B string, We open E, first fret in the E string twice, third fret in the E string, then move this finger up to the 5th fret, and then to the 3rd fret in the B, okay? And then again, same as before, we're going to swap this finger around for our 3rd finger, play that note again, 1st fret in the E, open E twice, 1st fret in the E, 3rd fret in the B, sorry, and then open E. Okay, so from that point there, you've got 3rd fret in the B string, open E, 1st fret in the E twice, 3rd fret in the E, move this same finger up to the 5th fret in the E, 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the B, then you're going to switch that finger with the 3rd fret, and then 1st fret in the E, open E twice, 1st fret in the E, 3rd fret in the B, and then finish this section with the open E. Which, sorry, is the first note in the 3rd line of the paper. And that's the end of the riff. Okay, so there's really 2 sections to the riff. They're really quite similar. The second time is when you move your hand up to this 3rd and 5th fret. So I'll play you that second repeat one time by itself so you can practice that from beginning to end. So the second part goes like this. Okay, same as before, break that down. Once you can play the first part, move on to that second part we did there, but try and play it much slower than that at first. Maybe the speed about this. Okay, that's about the speed you should be aiming to play it at. And once you can play the whole thing comfortably at that speed, that's when you try and speed it up and practice. But as I said, this might take you quite a few weeks. It's quite tricky, in particular the hammer-on part and when you're using your pinky up in this 6th fret. But just take it slowly and try and get those parts as good as you can. And the more you practice, the easier that will become. And I'll see you in the next video for the next guitar lesson.